We welcome you once again and we hope that you enjoy our videos. If you could help our channel out by giving us a like, sharing, and subscribing, that would be great. I do have some merch coming soon, but let's check out the location for the day, the Garovi Rock Crusher. Here we are at the town of Grove, ghost town. We're in a tiny little village that was called Grove, and it was home to Anthony Garovi, and he made his living quarrying sandstone. And his sandstone was quarried high on the hill above the rock crusher and moved downhill by gravity incline. At the plant, high hammers smashed the stone into a fine sand which was used in glass making. The quarry lies 470 feet up the hill from the rail trail that I'm on. Later it was owned by the Erman family, and the operation ceased in 1929. And here's the remnants of it. Pretty cool. So we started the town of Grove back there. And there's the site of the Grove train station. And to look at that area and try to picture that is so difficult for me. I'd have to look at some maps and see the layout of the buildings, but this entire area was the city of Grove. But there's the quarry site. There's a trail on the other side, which is called Switchback Trail, and it goes up 0.6 of a mile. And me and the kids here, we're gonna walk up over there and check it out. There's the site. Rock Crusher. And then Quarry Switchback Trail. First things first, the proper pronunciation is Garovi. Now, Mr. Anthony Garovi had a quarry elsewhere, and I believe it had a stone crusher at that location too. And that location was in Harvey's Run, Pennsylvania. He was from Reynoldsville, Pennsylvania, in Jefferson County, and not too far away from this particular location, which is called the Croyland location. It opened up in 1903. It just happened to coincide with the building of a railroad tunnel on the opposite side of the creek. The Empire Tunnel, which was below Empire Ridge, was built so that the railroad could avoid what had become known as the Devil's Elbow. It was a section that was far too sharp of a turn, and it was causing quite a few railroad car accidents. The tunnel was built in 1907, but the planning for it began back in 1903. So it is believed that Anthony knew that the rail was proposing to build a tunnel, and he had gone ahead and purchased the land, and he had set up his location and basically supplied the stone that was used for the actual building of the tunnel eventually. And then he would also break sandstone down and make sand, which could be loaded up directly into rail cars and taken elsewhere. But of course, it could also be used on the tunnel. But contrary to what the history plaque at the site says, the sand was probably used more for concrete and definitely not glass. It was not screened, so it was not fine enough, but he could produce over 100 tons of sand per day. So you better believe that some of that sand was taken over and used for the concrete on the tunnel. So, cool fact, when they would quarry the stones, they would send them across the creek to the tunnel location by cable. That would have been interesting. There is a switchback trail which follows up behind where the stone crusher was, and it follows a switchback for approximately 0.6 of a mile to the top of the hill. And I believe it's a 500-foot inclination. At the top are some enormous boulders and a quarry on the far side. As you walk up to the top of the hill, you'll see multiple areas where there was the stone quarrying done. And you'll see the remnants of some of the rocks lying about, and then you can actually look at some of those rocks and see wedge cuts. At the very top, you'll see the enormous sandstone outcroppings, which is a better description than calling them boulders, as I did earlier. And they probably stand at least 20 to 30 foot high and probably 2 to 3 times that in length and width. I took a selfie with a couple of them behind me just to give an idea of a size comparison. Now the workers would walk up to the top of that quarry each day I put in a full day's work, and sort of reminds me of 1,000 Steps workers. This covered about 500 feet of climbing in 6/10 of a mile, so it's not as steep as the 1,000 Steps, but steep enough for my trip and my two pups. So that's a touch of the history and the story behind this particular stone crusher and area. So let's go for the walk up the hill. So this is on top of the rock crusher site, and you can see the trail still cut in here that they used to slide the rocks down. And this has not been in use since 1920s. So as we make our way up, there's lots of signs of the quarrying that took place around here. Big cuts. And this switchback trail coming up, coming around, and we see the signs of the quarry all around us and below us. Two hands. Very cool. And you can just see the enormous sandstone outcroppings, and a couple pictures of them, and then you'll also see me as I walk past them, and that should give you a really good idea of the size. There's still a pretty good trail coming down through here. So we're coming on back down the switchback trail. And for the life of me, I had to look at the name because I kept getting it wrong. It's Garovi. G-A-R-O-V-I. Garovi. But this trail was named Giraffe. So we're coming up to the top of the Garovi Rock Crusher. And the thing is, there's a cool tile laying right in there. It's a clay tile. There's another one right there. But in this area, it's very, very steep incline. And then it is level right here. And you can see where there were a couple foundations over there of buildings. First time I've ever been up on top. And you can check out this site as well. It's on the Little Toby Rail Trail system from Brockway down to Portland Mills. Easily accessed from the Portland Mills area. Park and walk up approximately 1.5 to 2 miles, and it'll be sitting on your left-hand side. And if you're adventurous, you can take the 0.6 of a mile trip on up to the top of the hill. Thanks again. Stay safe and have fun.